fight, 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 fight like you've never fought before. And so, when I walked into that OR, that's what I told myself.
It was 6 o'clock in the morning and my dogs woke me up because they wanted to go outside. Then I heard this horrible noise. There was a raccoon up on the edge of the chain link fence. I was gonna grab both of the dogs by the collars and pull them off of the raccoon, and the raccoon latched onto my arm, and it just felt like electricity shooting up my arm. I was in the intensive care and I thought I was gonna die. I really, truly thought that was gonna happen.
I promised her she wouldn't lose her arm. And I remember saying that to her on the first day because that's never happened to me. I remember trying to put in words, not that I failed, but more so I didn't live up to my end of what I thought I could do.
And then when he came to me one day and said, I'm sorry, I can't save your arm.
She looked at me and said, you did your best. Now please save my life.
In the midst of all this, Dr. Seth had the opportunity to go to Seattle to a medical conference.
I walked in on a Saturday and I said, hey Melissa, I said, this company wants me to come teach in Seattle, but I'm not going because I'm not leaving you. I remember her saying, I'm a big girl, you can go, you don't need to babysit me.
And he said, no, I'm not gonna leave you. You have a fever. Finally, my fever broke and I said, okay, I'm all better, you don't have an excuse now, you have to go. While he was at the conference, he happened to see one of the talks was about prosthetics, and he went and learned about this new state-of-the-art surgery. And had he not been at that conference or been to that lecture, he wouldn't have even known the surgery existed. The phantom pain was, I can feel my hand, but it just felt like my hand is in a vise. I could never open it up, and it was just felt like crushed all the time. Any chance of not having pain or having less pain was worth a shot to take.
Getting someone to move their arm had been done maybe 100, 150 times in the world. They said, you want to do something cool, get her to feel her prosthetic hand. They said, there's a person in Canada who came up with the surgery, but there's no real pictures and there's no directions basically on how to do it. And the reason is because no one's done it around here. Melissa and I were going to be the first ones in the country to do it. And if this surgery works, you know, we can change the world. I had no clue how to do it. I waited for 8 weeks for them to call me. So here we are, a week before the surgery. I'm starting to panic a little bit because we're talking about the surgery and I have no idea how they did it. I'm sitting in church. I turned my phone on silence, but I still have it in view in case the hospital calls. I remember looking down and the call ID said, Alberta, Canada. And my heart just stopped. So I started talking to the guy and I said, hey, I want to do this. He's like, great. And he told me what he did. I said, I got it, I'll nail this. Okay, he said, tell me how you do. I never wrote it down. I remember thinking, what if I can't do it? What if I go through and tell everybody this is something I want to do and it doesn't work and we can't change the world?
After the surgery, my pain went from like a 10 to a 3.
If there's nothing else you get, you have changed her life forever. We now have tricked her brain into thinking that she regrew an arm. Whatever her brain says, the prosthesis does. If she closes her eyes and I touch the inside of her arm, she will say, you're touching my thumb, index, middle, or ring finger. All I have to do is take a sensor, it'll connect to that spot. Somebody touches her thumb, with her eyes closed, she'll say, you're touching my thumb. She did it. I mean, she can move her elbow, open and close her hand, and move her wrist. And she has feeling of 4 fingers, almost the 5th. She is the most advanced amputee in the country. There really isn't anybody in the world who can now feel all of their fingers and move a prosthetic arm with their brain simply by just looking at it. That day I felt as though nothing would go wrong. I really just put some nerves together. There has to be God involved. Without God and Melissa, who's the most amazing person to make this surgery work, it's between that combination that this surgery worked, no question. I think her and I have showed the world that nothing's impossible.